What's up, everybody? It's Thursday. Welcome to the Is This Too Much podcast. It's Thursday. It's so funny because there was the name of this podcast was actually supposed to be Talk Back Thursday. But in the event that I wasn't able to go live, I didn't want to be stuck with that name that is kind of geared towards going live. So I said I was going to create a segment of that, even though I go live every Thursday. There may be a day I go live. There may be a time where I go live more than on Thursday. So I kind of wanted that to be like a subtitle or like a kind of like a segment of the show, so to speak. So um, with that being said, I decided that today was going to be Talk Back Thursday. So because I don't really have a topic, and one thing about topics, I kind of want to stay away from. This show is meant for me to just talk. It's just supposed to be dialogue. It's supposed to be, encouragement. It's supposed to be touching on those topics that nobody really want to talk about. It's not really supposed to be like a teaching platform. I mean, I can teach, but I choose not to, I guess. Like that wasn't the idea or the intent of this podcast. So, with that being said, I think sometimes it's hard because like I go more into teach mode because I'm always trying to think of what can this week's topic be? What can this be about? And I'm not really trying to do the teaching thing. I mean, if it happens within me just talking, that's one thing, but yeah. So yeah, I just kind of wanted this to be more of a chill touching on subjects, talking about whatever it is the audience either wants to hear or hasn't heard of or, has different views about, kind of things along that nature. So, with that being said, again, welcome to Talk Back Thursday, which is just a segment of Is This Too Much podcast. My name is Allie T. If this is your first time checking in, if this is your first time viewing, if this is your first time watching the replay, hello, welcome to this space. I would kindly ask if you would hit that bell if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, share if you're watching on Facebook, and you can also do the same if you're watching on YouTube as well by commenting, sharing, liking, subscribing, all the things, so that this content can get pushed out to whoever would probably need to hear it or might want to hear it. And it really helps the channel grow as I am trying to expand. So I would really appreciate if you shared the content, like the content, subscribe to the content, whatever. Comment on the content, drop down in the comments and tell me how much you like it or don't like it. In either way, traction is traction at the end of the day. So I just kind of been going through a lot. I've been going through a lot, and I am doing the best that I can to try to maintain in this season. And by that, I mean, I'm trying to continue to press. People that know me know my struggle with mental battles in the past, in my many diagnoses, have seen me crumble in less situations. Now that I am facing a very challenging situation, it's weird to me because I have not crumbled. It doesn't mean I won't, and I'm not trying to like say that I am, but I'm doing the best I can to press regardless of what I'm going through. Every day is not easy. Every day is not peaches and candy. Some days are rougher than others, but I am doing the best that I can to say, Lord, I give this situation to you. And in that, trying not to be an Indian giver. Trying not to say, I give this situation to you and then yank it back. Like, nah, never mind, I'm good. So, in all of that, I've been, the fight been fighting, okay? It's been real around, yeah. But, in this season, I'm being taught to trust God. And that sounds so cliche for anybody who called themselves a Christian, but it is literally our lifestyle, or should be our lifestyle. And it is not always easy. And not just saying, oh Lord, I trust you, and not just, I trust you to give me the outcome that I'm looking for, the miracle that I'm looking for, the breakthrough that I'm looking for. Because what if trusting God means, and this is for me, this might help you, but this is really me asking me, what if trusting God means trusting him even when the outcome that you wanted is not the outcome that he's going to give? And that has been something that I've faced on multiple occasions in my life. And I've done the tantrums, I've done the kicking, I've done the screaming, I've done the complaining, I've done the comparing, I've done the judging, I've done it all in, Lord, I trust you to, bring me a husband. I trust you to give me kids. I trust you to da. But what happens when you trusting him when the outcome doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like? And I have struggled with that so bad. And in this moment, I am being taught and I am learning and I am just trying to grasp trusting God even when the outcome may not be what I want it to be, when it may not look like what I want it to look like. And that's hard. It's very hard because we pray and we want to believe for the miracle. We want to believe for the breakthrough. We want to believe change gonna come. We want to believe for the greatness because we serve a good God. We serve a holy God. But what happens when his plan doesn't look like those good things? When his plan doesn't look like what's ideal? When his plan doesn't make sense to the natural eye? When his plan doesn't make sense to humanity's mindset? What do? And that is what I'm facing right now. I'm not at liberty to go into detail right now because y'all know me. I like to be transparent. I like to be open. I like to be all the things, but I have to do it with the leading of the Holy Spirit. And in this moment, I'm not at liberty to give y'all full details, but just know that in this moment, I am being tested and tried like I ain't never been tested and tried. And in that, I know that God is really pulling me to trust him in ways that I've never trusted him before. I'm facing some life-changing decisions. I am facing some decisions that could alter so many things. And in that, the trust, the level of trust, like really, it's a testing of God. If God saying, are you going to trust me even if the outcome don't look like what you want it to? Because what does that look like? What does that really look like? Because we as humans, come on, be real. I'm going to be real. I've prayed for things and God has come through. But once he's come through, I'm looking at it like, this what you wanted to bless me with? Like, this doesn't look like what I asked for, but on one hand, I'm grateful that I got it, but on another hand, I'm like, I probably could have did without. Like, never mind, God. Or like I talked about on one of the other episodes when we were talking about comparison, or being ungrateful about it. Like, this person's this is better than mine, or I feel like you gave me the short end of the stick in the miracle, instead of just being grateful for whatever God decided to do. And then not only that, trusting him in the extent of knowing that he has your best interest at heart. That can be a difficult place because we say we love him. We say, God, whatever, your will be done, not thy will, your will be done, Lord. Oh, Lord, I give it to you. Oh, Lord, I know you're going to come through for me. But what happens when it doesn't look like what you thought it should look like? And I'm not talking from a place of being on the other side of this. I'm talking from a place of I'm in this thing right now, walking this thing right now as I'm sharing it with y'all, and praying that by the time we have the next episode or episodes to come, when I am on the other side of whatever direction he leads me, being able to prayerfully have a testimony or at least a story to tell with whatever the outcome is. But I'm currently in that thing, and I'm already trying to program my mind. What is this going to look like if you decide to do it differently than what I thought or differently than what I planned up here? What I've been doing in my situation is really trying to weigh it on both sides of the spectrum. I don't really know if that's healthy. It seems healthy to me. I could be wrong, but I've been like trying to think on both ends of the decision that I have to make. If I make decision A, what is that going to look like? The good, the bad, and the ugly. If I make decision B, what is that going to look like? The good, the bad, and the ugly. And praying and already trying to get it in my spirit so that when he answers, I'll at least somewhat be okay either way. And something else that I've also been trying to think too and trying to get in my spirit as well is, regardless of what direction I have to go, having the assurance, and I'm currently working on it right now. I'm not there yet. I'm going to be honest with y'all. But having the assurance that regardless, if I'm wholeheartedly seeking God, if I'm wholeheartedly seeking him and wanting to make my decision based on whatever side he chooses. I mean, based on what he chooses to do. If I want to make my decision based on, I know 100, 1000% that I heard God and this is exactly what he's telling me to do. And I go with that decision that he told me to do, not a person, not no situation, not culture, not nothing. God himself, having the peace that God himself said, Allie, I need you to do this right here. When it is time for that to happen, I am trying to build my faith to a place where I am okay. And by that, I mean, knowing that God put me, he led me to this decision. I made the decision he desired for me to make, regardless of which one it is, and that he is going to provide in that decision, that he is going to sustain in that decision, that he is going to maintain in that decision, and he is going to continually lead me as I walk through that decision. So that alone in itself, I'm having to block out fear. I'm having to block out what I think. And not block it out like dismiss it, but I'm having to address it. I'm having to find scriptures that line up with where I am in the moment, whether it's I'm feeling fearful, worried, having doubt, terror, whatever it is, confusion, because God is not the author of confusion. Having to find the scriptures to give me that reassurance now, so that whenever he says, okay, this is the way I want you to move, I have the same assurance knowing like God is going to lead me. Well, it may look crazy to people. It may sound crazy. It may not all the way sit well with me as far as my human mindset, not so much in my spirit, but in my mind, in my soul. But knowing that I made this decision by being spirit led, then I have to trust that God is going to continue to build on that decision. And not be afraid. It's like being solidified. Like, okay, I know for a fact the Lord told me to do this, to pick this decision. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean it's going to come natural. It doesn't mean it's going to be a walk in the park. But knowing that I made the right decision that he told me to make and trusting that he is going to hold my hand as I walk through this decision. Whatever decision I have to make. And I'm not all the way there, y'all. I'm not. This is just a very real place that I'm trying to walk through right now. And it all kind of has to stem from love. Having a real understanding of what God's love really means and being able to trust that. And of course, right now in the season that I'm in, I'm asking like, why did you let this happen? Why? I mean, I felt so unsaved because I know that a lot of times people who are not believers tend to be the ones to ask those questions. But let's be real. We who are believers ask those questions too. Why did you let this happen? Why did it have to go this way? Why is it, what is this? What is this right here? Why am I walking through this? And it'll start to make you think like, I hear this a lot from unbelievers, but come on, we do it too. Why does a good God let these kind of things happen? And when I really understood what God's love walk is all about, or as I'm starting to understand, because I'm not talking from a place like I've overcome. I'm literally walking through this thing as we speak, as I'm recording this live. I'm coming to the understanding of free will. I'm coming into the understanding of God is not a genie. I'm coming into the understanding of so many different things. I can't pinpoint them all because I'm currently walking through. I have not arrived. So something that I've learned, when we ask those questions, God, why you let this happen? Why am I facing this? Like I've even been and have gone as low as, God, I really don't feel like you really care for me like that. I really feel like you didn't really want to throw me away, but you kind of was like, I guess I'll keep her and figure out, what I'm going to do with her, figure out how life should go for her. And I know that is not the nature or the character of God, but that's how I be feeling sometimes. Like, Lord, you just don't care nothing about me because you just got me out here in the trenches. But I'm coming into more of an understanding that, because we could say these things, but do we really believe it in our heart? That God is not a genie. He is not everything. That he's not just going to allow you to go through roses and rainbows and Lucky Charms and all of that stuff. There's going to be some fight. There's going to be some turmoil. The Bible has too many stories of turmoil, too many stories of suffering, too many stories of sacrifice for us to think that our life is just going to be roses and candy just because Jesus died on the cross for us. It's because he died on the cross for us that we're able to go through those things and not die in the midst of them. Even though sometimes some of the decisions and some of the things we go through feel like death. Bruh. It be feeling like straight death. But I think that it's necessary. As much as I hate to admit it, it's necessary that these things happen. And it sucks. I don't have no beautiful way to say nothing. It sucks. I hate this. I hate that I'm going through this. But I do want to know in the end what the reason behind it was for. Like, I want to see it through so that when it's time for the praise report or the testimony, it'll all come together and make sense. But bruh, this right here, and like I said, I wish I could share it with y'all, but just know it's deep, and just know I am not okay all the time. I'm not. But I am on a path and a journey to trust God regardless of what the outcome is going to be. Some days I'm like, yo, like, you don't care? You don't see this? You don't see me? Like, why did you even, you did this knowing that this was going to happen? And like I said, I had to come to the understanding that everything is not going to be perfect with God. Even our relationship is not going to be perfect with God. I heard something interesting, and it really answered. I don't feel like there's another way to put it. When it comes to that whole, why did God let this happen and all of this other stuff? When it comes to even relationship with God, Why would I serve a God, a good God, this supposed good God, if babies is still dying and getting shot and murdered and world hunger is still a thing and this and this and that? Why he don't come down and do nothing? He didn't want that. God didn't want that kind of relationship with humanity. Why did he allow all this turmoil in the world? Why did he even create evil? Why did he even create all this turmoil? It's there. I don't have an explanation of why he created it, but being in the midst of it, he didn't want this statue robotic rock relationship with his children. God created us the way he created us, with free will. And with our free will, he wanted us to choose him. There is evil in the world. There is foolishness in the world. But he wanted us to still choose him in spite of that, and not use the evil in the world as an excuse to go away from him, to separate from him, or to not want to have nothing to do with him. So his love relationship for us, the way he created us, he wanted us to want him, not force himself. Choose me. I want you to choose me, and choose me right now. That's not the nature of God. That is not what he... It's just like if you like somebody. You want that person to like you back. You don't want them to, they paid me to go with you. Remember back in the day in the 90s in TV shows when the dudes didn't have a prom date, so they would pay somebody, or they would bring their cousin, to the prom because nobody wanted to go with them, or they would pay somebody or bribe somebody. If you come with me to the prom, I'll do this, whatever. No person wants somebody to like or love them just because, or be forced to like or love them. Nobody wants to be in a marriage, a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, a friendship, even parents and children. Nobody wants to be loved or liked just because I kind of have to. I'm forcing you to love me. I want to be in something that you're here because you want to be, not because I forced you. Not because you claim I got this noose around your neck. You're here because you want to be here. So if we wouldn't want that in a love relationship, in a friendship, imagine the only friends you got are friends you've paid or forced. Can't force nobody to do nothing, but friends that you paid off to be close to you. Nobody wants that. You want people who are freely accepting of you, how you are, who you are, freely loving of you, who freely give their love to you, not forced. And the people that like to claim that they're being forced, you're not. He don't force himself on anyone. So he created us to have a love that, for him, he wanted us to love him freely. That's why he gave us the free will. I want you to choose me because you want to choose me, because you desire me. That's why he created marriage. That's why he created the filial love, the phileo, however you say it, that kind of love, the brotherly love, and the eros love, the romantic type of love. That's why he created that, because it's a replica of the type of love that he wanted to have with us. The agape love, unconditional, regardless of whatever, I still love you. And we like to think about those things when it comes to him loving us, but what about us loving him? I don't want to be with nobody that I got that got to force me to be with them, or the situation. It may not even be the person forcing you. The situation. People out there in relationships. Oh, I'm only with this man because he a doctor and he got good money. Oh, I'm only with this man because this is somebody my mama wanted me to be with. Oh, I'm only with this man because he beat on me, he cheat on me, but my bills is paid. That's a forced situation. So no, it's not a forced situation in a noose around your neck. Come here, girl. It's a forced situation as you're looking at the predicament, at the situation, versus actual love being there, real love being there. So if we don't want that as humans, as people, why would he want that? Yes, he created us, but he's not forcing us to love him. He's not forcing us to live for him. He's not forcing us to follow him. He desires it. He desires that you would choose him, but he does not force it. And I know I'm on a whole nother topic, but this thing is just, it's rich to me. He doesn't force us to love him. It's a choice. And then it makes us have to ask ourselves, well, for what reason do I love God? Do I love him because he gives me stuff? This is me checking me. Do I love him because he gives me stuff? Do I love him because I just don't want to go to hell? Do I love him because he died? He sent his only son to die for my sins and cover my sins and my shame and my guilt. Like a heart check on why we really love God, why we really want to serve him, why we really want to live for him. When I think about romantic relationships, it's helping me understand the love of God more. He doesn't want a robotic relationship. He wants a willing relationship, freely choosing him. And so the more I think about that, the more I'm drawing closer to him. Even in the midst of all the turmoil that I'm going through right now, my world is flipped upside down. I'm still trying to find myself running to him. Find myself, if you could just hold me in your arms, wrap me in your arms, and just comfort me, just give me wisdom, give me guidance, give me love, give me all the things. And not just because I'm going through, but that's one of the aspects, the fact that I'm going through, being free and being so knit with you that I could run to you in this time of turmoil. Because okay, so some people be like, oh, people only serve God you only serve God when everything going good. You only pray and do all the things when everything going good. When everything going bad, you really out there. I feel like it could be two ways, because I'm the type of person, or no, people be like, oh, God don't hear from you when everything going good. I had it backwards. God don't hear from you when everything going good. I'm backwards. He hears from me the most when everything going good. And when everything going bad, I find myself shying away from him, or I have in the past. I don't want to pray. I don't want to read. Don't want to go to church. Don't want to do nothing. I don't want to talk to you, because in my brain, in my human mind, it's like, you the one that got me here in the first place. So why would I want to talk to you? Not even thinking like he's the reason he's the one that can get you out too. But it's like, then there's a part of me that feels like, well, I don't want to talk to you because I must have done something so evil to be in this place. And I've come to find out that that's not always the case either. A lot of times, of course, we all know about Job. Sometimes we're handpicked to go through the worst of the worst. It's not always that we did something or we sinned or we got ourselves in some mess. Sometimes we're handpicked to go through the worst of the worst. And when I think about even the situation that I'm currently going through, it's helping me to kind of look at this whole thing in a different perspective. Maybe I'm just handpicked to go through this. Does it feel good? Absolutely not. Do I wish he would pick somebody else? Absolutely. But me knowing that not to say that I'm perfect, but for this particular situation that I'm facing, knowing that I did the best I could and that I know of did not necessarily do anything wrong to be here where I'm at in this situation that I'm facing, I'm like, okay, this must be one of them handpicked moments. Because ain't no way. It just ain't no way. Like okay. This got to be a Job moment, because Lord have mercy, Jesus. So I'm doing the best I can to try to like shift my perspective about my situation that I'm currently facing. And it's not easy. So much so I almost didn't even record today or go live. I don't really have any participation right now, but that's okay, because I made a commitment that I was going to stay doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I don't want to take this heavy moment and not continue to produce what I'm supposed to produce, regardless of anybody watching or not, regardless of if I feel like it or not. And I'm trying to take that same principle into so many other areas of my life. Even in the midst of this turmoil. Turmoil is an understatement. So just know, if you watch this, if you're watching it right now, if you happen to catch it later, if you happen to catch it years from now, just know the people is going through right now. I'm the people. And I'm walking this thing out as I'm speaking to you, as I'm recording this. It's a fresh situation. Some days I don't know my left from my right, my up from my down. Some days I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh, cry, spit on somebody, bust somebody in the eye. Not that I would do those things. I hope and pray. But I'm human, yo. Like, I'm just walking it out. I mean, whatever that means in the moment, whatever that means right now for me, I'm just walking it out. I'm just trying to let the Lord lead and not snatch the situation back from him, letting him be the final say. And preparing myself for whatever he will say, whatever direction he tells me to go. It's not cupcakes, candy, and cookies every day. Some days I want to cuss. Some days I want to scream and act a fool. But all in all, I'm just trying to press. And if you're out there in a similar, I know you don't know my situation, but if you can identify with anything that I've said as far as trusting God in uncertain times, in difficulties and storms, I pray that this will bless you. I pray that it will encourage you. I pray that it will give you something to pull on and pull from while you're going through whatever you're going through. And to also for you to know that you're not alone. It took everything in me to press stream today. I don't even feel like doing this right now. But this is a product of me trying to walk this thing out. This is a product of me trying to press. This is a product of me trying to work through whatever this is that I'm going through. Simply because it has the potential to bless somebody. So I don't have too much to say today. I just pray that you're encouraged and that you'll be encouraged as I walk this out and be evidence in real time of stuff that's really going on. Again, I always thank you guys for the support. I pray you're encouraged. If you have anything you want me to talk about with you, talk about in the comments, or anything you want to share, anything you'd like me to pray for, I feel like maybe me praying for others will help me in this time of going through. But in the meantime, I just ask that you share this, comment, subscribe, like, follow, all the things. I'll see y'all next Thursday as the journey in the saga continues. Keep me in prayer if you feel, led to do so. And until next week, I'll see you guys soon in the next live.